This is the Eilleo Spacewalk M6 electric bike, and it's made for teens. You can see that it's a smaller size, and I think that's awesome because there aren't a whole lot of e-bikes in this category. You either have the little kids e-bikes that are too small for a lot of my nieces and nephews, or you have the adult size ones, which a lot of times are too big and hard for them to manage. So this is right in the in-between. I actually had my nephew ride this, and he's 9, and he was able to manage this with no problem at all. And then it even fits me, surprisingly, and I'm 5'10", I weigh 160 pounds, and this wasn't a problem for me to sit on and ride this around. It had plenty of power, so I say teen loosely because this fits a wide range of people, but I like the fact that it is kind of a smaller condensed size to accommodate smaller kids or teens or adults even. So in this video, I just want to review it for you and share my thoughts about my experience with it. So here it goes. When I first got this e-bike, it came nicely packaged, and the assembly process was pretty straightforward and easy. You had to put the front tire on, adjust the handlebars, put the pedals on, a few other little things like that. But for the most part, this already mostly came pre-assembled. You just had to add a few of these accessories on it and you're good to go. Once you get this put together, I feel like it looks awesome, especially for a teen e-bike. I feel like this thing comes jam-packed with so many cool features that I don't even see on adult-sized e-bikes. So I'm kind of jealous of how cool this e-bike is. This is kind of a moped style e-bike. It comes with a nice large retro style headlight up front that looks awesome. It also comes with rear tail lights back here. These also shine brighter when you hit the handbrakes. And a nice feature that they included with this is actually blinkers on these rear tail lights that you can control with the little dial up here on the handlebar. So that already is a feature that most e-bikes don't even have. The frame design is pretty unique. I haven't seen it where it's open like this, where you can see the battery right here, but then it still provides you with the frame on both sides of it for protection. And it also has these side plates here as well to provide a little bit more protection and just stylistic look as well. I feel like it looks pretty cool. The seat also is attached right back here, and the seat is really squishy, but maybe one drawback would be it's not really adjustable. So if you need to like slide the seat forward or back or raise it or lower it, you won't be able to do that on this e-bike. Taking a look at the front of the e-bike, it comes with fat tires. These are 16-inch by 4-inch fat tires, so it's the same width as a normal sized adult fat tire, but it is a little bit more condensed, being only 16 inches, which I feel like that's awesome. It actually helps keep the e-bike more compact and lower to the ground, so it's easier to get on and off of for kids. This e-bike also has front suspension up here, and then it also comes with 2 suspension springs in the back of it to help smooth out your ride. I will say that when I actually tested this out, the suspension feels a little bit firm, so if you're really trying to hit a jump or something, you're definitely gonna feel it. I don't feel like it's made for that kind of riding, but if you just want to do some trail riding or ride in the yard or ride on the road, you're gonna be fine. And I feel like the suspension does help to smooth out all those little bumps and stuff, but for more aggressive riding, you will feel it because it is a little bit more firm. And I do want to reiterate that most adult e-bikes don't even come with full suspension anyways. A lot of times they'll just have front suspension forks on it, but they won't even include rear suspension. So even though it's not the best, it's better than nothing at all. Now, taking a look at the handlebar setup, these are kind of like BMX style handlebars where they dip down and then they come up like this. For me, it felt pretty comfortable. I like the positioning of them and the height of them. I also like that it comes with grip pads that bump out a little bit to give you more surface area for your palms. That feels pretty comfortable. This also comes with a 6-speed Shimano shifter, which works okay, but I honestly didn't find myself pedaling this e-bike that often, and even my nephew didn't seem to pedal this bike that much. He'd rather just use the half twist throttle right here, which I feel like that's more comfortable as well. One thing I did notice, if you do choose to pedal it, they are smaller. Since the e-bike sits lower, it's more condensed, it's made for teens. The length feels pretty small when you're pedaling, so it feels unnatural for someone my size, but for a smaller kid, this probably is more comfortable and enjoyable to pedal. So you can either pedal it if you want to, or you can use the throttle, which I did most of the time anyways. One thing that I think is just average on this e-bike is actually the brakes. These are just mechanical brakes, and I actually prefer hydraulic brakes. And the reason is they're easier to squeeze and they stop the e-bike more abruptly. And I feel like that would have probably been a better option to put on a teen bike, especially since their grip strength might not be as much. So getting hydraulic brakes would have been better, but these still function fine. You're still able to brake safely. I would just prefer it more if it had hydraulic brakes on it. On the left-hand side is your control dial to be able to operate your e-bike, but to first be able to turn it on, you have to turn the switch on the battery first, and then you have to long press the M button to turn it on. And then once you do, you can see all your normal metrics on the screen. It has your speed, your pedal assist level, your odometer, how much battery life you have left. So that's all included on the screen display. And then it will also comes with 3 pedal assist levels. And I don't know exactly what each of them are. I do know this has a top speed of 21 miles an hour. So this thing definitely goes pretty fast. And I think when I was riding it, pedal assist level 1 was at like 7 miles an hour. And I believe pedal assist level 2 was around like 15 miles an hour. So you can ride it in the slower speed setting, especially if you have a teen that's new to this, just to get them comfortable on it. But as they get more comfortable and more familiar with it, they can obviously turn up the speed on it and be able to zip around a little bit faster, which by the end of the day, my nephew riding this thing was ripping around on it, having a lot of fun, and he was riding in the top pedal assist level just because he's comfortable with it now. So it's nice that they offer you all those different levels to choose from, especially if teens are going to be riding this. Next to the control dial is your headlight button, and then it also comes with your blinker switch to turn it left or right. I wish that it also provided like an audible clicking noise. That way you remember that you turned it on, that way you can turn it back off. That would make it slightly better. And then below that is your horn button, because this also comes included with the horn. It's very loud as well. Now when it comes to the riding experience, this e-bike is a lot of fun. My nephew had a blast riding it, but when it was my turn, I also had a blast riding this thing. I feel like it has good speed, like I mentioned before, but it also has a lot of power. So it has a 750 watt motor, so going up hills isn't a problem, or riding in the grass or trails. It has plenty of power to get you around where you need to go. I'm even a little bit heavier than a normal teen, and if I sit my weight back towards the end of the seat and then I throttle it, I can get it to pop a wheelie even. So it has good acceleration, good power behind it, and not only that, but it also has good range. If you're just throttling only, it says you might get a max range of 30 miles on one trip, and then if you're pedaling using the pedal assist, you can go up to 50 miles maximum range. So that's quite a long distance to go on an e-bike, and I feel like that's great for kids, because everyone knows that kids are just outside all day riding. They have tons of energy is what I'm trying to say, so they'll be able to ride this all day long and have fun on it. One thing that would have made this a little bit nicer for the riding experience would be if it included fenders with it, because when we were riding this out in the trail, we definitely got muddy. It kicks up mud when you're riding it, so the backs of our coats got muddy, and then also the bike itself got pretty muddy just riding out in the trails. So if you plan on doing some trail riding, you might want to pick up some fenders, and it would have been nice if it just included it with the bike. Another drawback I noticed with this e-bike is it is heavy. It comes in at 72 pounds, which for me, it's not that big of a deal to manage it, but for a teen or a smaller person, it might be a little bit hard to manage it. Even for me, just picking it up, I mean, it's pretty heavy right there. So if a kid was riding this and they tipped it over, they might have a hard time picking it up or even just turning it. Once you get speed and get riding, it's not a problem. You can zip around on it, no problem at all. But if it's turned off like this, it's just a little bit heavier of a bike. One other small thing I noticed when I was riding it is it doesn't have the largest turn radius, because the handlebars will hit the frame right here. So you're not able to take really sharp turns on this. If you want to like do a 180 in a trail real quick, you can't really zip it around like that because the handlebars do hit the frame.
I can't really turn sharp.
The last thing I want to mention is that at the time of this recording, this e-bike comes in at a price of $850, and I feel like that's a very fair price. A lot of times e-bikes of this caliber for adults are over $1,000, so the fact that you're getting all these features and cool specs on this thing for $850, I feel like that's a pretty sweet deal. So overall, I've been pretty pumped with this thing. I'm super glad I have this. I have a ton of nieces and nephews, and so this is just something that's so fun to keep at the house for them to ride. And even for me as well, if I just want to go rip around on it, it's a lot of fun. So I'm pumped I got this thing, and I feel like if you got it as well, you'd be pretty surprised at how cool this is. So there it is. Hopefully this video gave you a little bit more insight to the pros and cons of the Eilleo Spacewalk M6 electric bike. Again, I'll put a link in the description below for you to check it out if you want to learn more about this e-bike. So thanks for watching.